Good morning, everybody, from within the polytunnel, which acts as my greenhouse, my wood and tool storage, and also as my windy weather filming location. So I'm in here to beat the wind, but annoyingly there's a super buzzy bug back there, maybe a giant bee or something else, and I can't get it out. So hopefully it doesn't add a buzzing element to this video, but I have to push on because I gotta get this done. So let's take a look at all the stuff I did and didn't do in April, and then I'm gonna bust out a whole different board full of tasks for May. My parents are here, so I think we can get a lot of stuff done, so it's gonna be a really interesting list. But let's take a look at April and see what I accomplished. Red pen, green pen. Clear firewood area. Done. Basically that just meant clearing a bunch of stuff, moving pallets down to a lower terrace, and tidying up the area where I had my firewood, because obviously I'm not going to need firewood in the summer, and I want to reclaim that space so I really know how much space I'm working with when I design my upper terrace. So done. Put up shade cloth. Dad to the rescue on that one. He did that yesterday, and I'm so happy with 2 shade cloths. I've got one on my upper terrace, one in front of my house, and there's going to be a third one and maybe even a fourth one down in the water tank area. So that's really exciting. They're awesome. I think they're really good quality, and he's done an amazing job hanging them up. That's something I can't stand doing. I really don't like rigging, knot tying, hanging up tarps, things like that. It's just not something I'm good at, not something I like. Obviously I could practice more, but my dad seemed very happy to tackle that job, so I was very happy to have him help me with it. Thanks, Dad. Move mega rack. I had help on that one as well. My friend Sanchia came to visit to look at a piece of land very close to my place. She's going to take it. It's going to be amazing. And we moved the giant rock together, and it was a fun challenge. It's still in my way overall, but the place where I moved it to means that I can continue working on the exterior wall, which is the next step. So that's really great. Design tool shed. I've done a design, I've done a drawing. I haven't done a specific cut list, but I have a fairly good idea of what I'm going to be doing with the tool shed, and that work is going to start, I keep saying soon, I really mean it this time. I'm hoping to get started on the tool shed this month, in May. We'll see. Plan pipes. Yeah, I'm going to give that one a yes, because I've kind of decided where the tool shed's going. I have an idea of how I want to run the pipes. I haven't specifically dug the trenches, but it wasn't about doing that. It was just about kind of having a concept of where it's going to go in, where I'm going to tie into the tool shed, and where the water is going to spit out. And so I've just basically decided that I'm going to run the pipes from the back of the house for the shower, and then kind of underneath or beside the tool shed. You know what? Maybe I haven't. Maybe that's a no. I tried to deceive you. I apologize. I haven't actually really nailed it down as much as I should, so that needs some more thought. Dig rubble trench foundation. Nope, not done yet. I need to decide exactly where the tool shed's going, and I've just been busy with so many other things. So tool shed stuff, exterior stem wall, these are going to be carried over into May, and these are going to be my main priority after the water tank. Water tank first, tool shed second. My dad seems very eager to help me dig ditches, so I'll put him to work on that once I actually nail down where everything's going to go. The exterior stem wall, I already know where that'll be. It'll be on the border of my land, but the tool shed, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to shift it yet. Excitingly, my dad and I had the idea of extending my terrace a little bit farther, using the dirt that we dig out to make the foundations. So that's going to give me a whole bunch more space to play with as far as having a social hangout area up at the top. So I have to rethink my overall design a little bit, and then we'll move on with the project from there. No shower, no tiles, but I have bought the drain, and it looks fabulous. I'm really excited to get this thing in place. One of my pet peeves in life is drains that just don't drain quickly. Hate it when water pools, especially in showers or sinks, and it gets all gunky and grungy. And the drain that I put in my shower does exactly that. I knew it would. I had this feeling that it was a piece of crap, but I put it in anyway, and now I have to bash it out and put this new drain in, which I have a feeling is going to be a wonderful drain. It'll look really cool, and it's large enough so that the water's not going to sit on the bottom of the shower as it drains out. So I've got that. I need to go into the big city to get the shower and the tiles, and I just haven't been in April at all. So hopefully while my parents are here in May, we'll go on a little adventure into the big city, and I can nip in, buy the shower, and at least order the tiles that I want. Water tank. I actually drained the water tank yesterday. So it's sitting there empty, and tomorrow I'm going to be in there cleaning it out, but it'll be May 1st tomorrow, so I didn't get it done. But water tank is the top of my list. Same with adding the bricks. I'm going to try to get a whole other course of bricks done around the splash pool. It'll be the final course, but that's going to be a fairly big job done over several days, and I'll probably have to empty and drain the water tank a few times as I work on that, because I need to obviously be able to pump water up to my IBC tanks. So it's a big project, but I'm getting started on it tomorrow, and I'm so excited. This is going to be such a cool space when it's finished, and I'm just really eager to not only make a cool space, but to have a water tank that holds water. If I can at least make the splash pool area watertight, it means that the rest of the water tank I can work on it independently at my leisure and still have water security, basically. Pot seedlings. So the garden is going to be a lot of green. I'm in amongst a whole bunch of pots right now, and there's a whole bunch of pots down below just to clear space in here. I've put a whole bunch of things in the ground as well. My mom helped me plant out a cucumber bed yesterday, so it's all go in the garden. Clear the weeds. There's still weeds in there, but I've cleared loads and loads of weeds already, so I'm going to call that one done. And all the spaces I've cleared will allow me to work where I want to work. I'm not going to build garden beds in the entire garden. I'm going to just pick and choose spots, so the weeds that are still there I can deal with later on. Prepare 2 garden beds. Not only have I prepared 2 garden beds, I've prepared 3? No, I think 5. So definitely on track with that. And I've added 2 taps, not just one, and I've got a third one that I'm going to stick in the ground fairly soon as well. I just need to figure out where the garden beds are going to be. So the garden has been a massive success. Learn to use router. I mean, I used the router. Did I learn how to use it? Sort of. I know how to change the bits. I know how to turn it on and off. I have a rough idea of the things that it can and cannot do. So thanks everybody who took the time to reply to me in the comments about the router. I've got a lot of amazing stuff to try out. The router is something that I don't think I can fully use to its potential until I have a nice place to work. I'm basically working off of a crooked piece of wood slung across 2 sawhorses, so it's not ideal, and I think if I'm going to start making jigs and stuff like that, I definitely need a proper workbench to work from. But for now, the router will probably be banished back to the box until I have a nice workspace for it and I can make some jigs and things. Take the e-bike out. Well, I haven't taken it out on a big long trip yet. I really want to, and I definitely want to before the weather starts to get crazy. But I have used it to nip around to the shops. I use it to go collect a food delivery that comes to the nearby village. So it's been good for that, but I still really want to take it out on an adventure, explore the area, and I haven't done that yet. So hopefully this month is the month that I do that. So that's been my April. It's been a really amazing month. I feel like I've been so busy, not only with all this work, but I've also cranked up my video production. I've been really trying to share as much of what I'm doing as possible. And because I'm doing a lot, that means there's a lot of videos to make as well. So I have been spending a lot of time editing the videos. Thanks to everybody who supports me with super thanks or through PayPal donations. I've put your names down in the description below. It goes a long way, and I really appreciate it. If you like my stuff and want to contribute something extra, you can do that. There's a super thanks button thing down there, or my PayPal address is in the description. Or just watch my videos and share them around. It's great to see my subscriber numbers growing, and there's the buzzy thing. Go away. Okay. It's great to see my subscriber numbers growing and the channel. Really? Do you have to be here right now? Come on, go at the door. Go at the door, go on. Go on, go on. Go. Go. You're so close. You've taken a wrong turn. No, don't go up there. Here, go down, go down, go down. Yeah. No, stay out, stay out. Okay, I'm fighting. Stay. Be gone. So you stay out there, it's much nicer. The bee is back. I think I'm fighting a losing battle, so I'm going to wrap this up and get the May list, but what was I saying before? I think just thanks for watching my videos. It's exciting for me to see the subscriber numbers growing, and even more exciting to see the amount of interaction in the comments and things. So I really love chatting to people, answering questions, and yeah, having little chats in the comments. So everybody who makes comments in my videos and shares it around, or even just watches, thanks so much. I'm really loving this journey, and I'm excited to keep pushing forward and see where this takes me. I've got loads of exciting projects coming up in May, lots of building, and my parents are here right now as well, and my friend Sinead is coming, and those guys, they love the camera. They, I think, really like the YouTube thing as much as you guys seem to like watching them, so that'll be a lot of fun, and it's going to mean that my May list is going to be fairly ambitious, and I'm looking forward to getting it out. But before I do, I really appreciate the advice to break down my list into some smaller points. I found it super motivating to have everything kind of listed off a little bit more individually. So rather than just saying, you know, do the garden, breaking it down into little sections has been a big win for me. I'll be sitting in my house just kind of wondering what to do the next day, not feeling massively motivated, but then I'll see a small thing on the list that I can just check off, and it'll motivate me to just get that done the next day. So I work really well with this sort of thing lurking in the background. So May is going to be more of the same. Let's go take a look at that list. Okay, I'm back with May. It's a crazy list. It's huge. Let's get April down. And then we can move on to the next month. And it's great to see the bee is still here as well. I'm not even going to try to fight it. So we have my list for May. It's ambitious. It's a little bit crazy. But I have my very hardworking and very eager parents here to help me, so I think we can do it. Tidy the dumping area. I have a horrible space of stuff, loads of crap. There's some piles of sand there, but there's all kinds of other stuff around the sand that I can clear away. I'd love to tidy that up. Extend the top terrace. I mentioned this earlier. I'd like to take the soil dug out from the foundations and use that to create more space on the top terrace. So I just have more room to play with as far as creating a working and hangout space beside the house. Begin exterior wall. This is the stem wall that's going to border the top terrace between myself and the neighbor. I'd like to dig that out and start work on the stone wall that will then eventually have a cob wall on top of it to actually act as the divider. Plan and lay pipes. This is another carryover from last month. I'd love to lay the pipes, but at a minimum, I'd like to plan where they're going and just know where I'll need trenches and things before I actually start laying out the tool shed. It's essential. Tool shed, dig the foundation. That's another carryover, and it goes with the pipes. I'll just be doing a lot of digging, and I'll need to plan where it's going, and if I can get started on actually digging these things, filling them with gravel so I can just build in June, that would be a great start. Shower. I bought the drain. I still need the shower and the tiles. Just a matter of going into the shops in the big city and getting them. Replace the drain. This could be a bigger job than I expect, or it could be quite simple. I have the drain, but I've got to bash out the old drain through some concrete. I have the right drill, and then the tricky part will be connecting it to the existing pipe, so I'd love to get that done. Render the walls. I've still got some lime sitting in buckets that I'd love to use, and putting it on the shower walls makes the most sense because that's a job that I'd love to get done, so the walls can cure, so that when I'm ready to start the next level of the shower, I can just crack on with that. House. I have a bunch of jobs inside the house, so if it gets too hot out or if it rains, you can just move in and try to get those things done. Chipping the dirt from the walls, in between all the rocks on all of the walls that are still exposed, which is most of them, is dirt. That needs to come out before I can repack it with lime. It's going to be super dusty. Definitely should have done this before I moved in, but I didn't, so that's a job that just needs to be done. You can just chip away at that job, literally, and slowly get it done. And when the dirt comes out, repacking between the stones with lime is another thing that I'd like to do. Continue the bathroom walls. If I can get a hold of some more clay, it would be fun, I think, to maybe work with my mom and we can build up with the clay, doing the wattle and daub technique for the second panel of the bathroom. I'd love to get my mom and maybe my dad if he wants to as well, working with clay, seeing how it feels. It's just such a wonderful material, and I'd love to share that with them. Paint and oil door. So the door needs a little bit of painting done. some touch-ups with the blue and some white parts as well. And I also went to linseed oil, the work that I've done already. Add screens. I have a whole bunch of, well, I've got 2 porthole windows and 0 screens, and I'd like to put screens in those 2 windows. Water tank. A lot of this is a carryover from April, and it's my priority. Clean the tank, lay the bricks. I've already discussed what I want to do there. Add an overflow. I have, right now, when the tank is full, it just overflows to right in front of the tank. I want to add a metal pipe with a screw fitting, concrete that in, and then I can attach pipes and steer the overflow to wherever I want to. Change exit pipe. Right now, the way the tank drains, it goes out of a pipe and goes under a whole bunch of concrete, and I'm pretty sure it leaks, and I have no idea what's going on down there. Once I get the splash pool sort of more watertight, I'll probably try to bash all that out and see what's going on there. I'll only get to that this month if I can make the splash pool watertight, but it's definitely on my mind. Repair the pipe leaks. I think if you watch a few videos back, you'll see that I uncovered a leak in the pipe kind of beside my garden terrace. I'd love to repair that, and there's also some other leaks around the place as well that I'll try to investigate. Render the splash pool. This is going to be a massive job. I have to finish laying the bricks, get everything ready, scrubbed off, and then I don't know if I want to try to render the splash pool myself or if I want to hire a friend to do it. It's going to be a really tricky job, and it's quite important that it all gets done in one go and that there's no cracks or anything, so I have a feeling I'll see if my friend wants to help me with that one. Chip out dirt. So between the rocks down the terrace next to the splash pool area, there's dirt between the rocks, and I'd love to chip it out and point it. I just think it looks really nice, and it also stops all the plants from sort of growing through the rocks, and there's nothing wrong with plants growing through the rocks, but I like the idea of having sort of a nice clean look down there around the tank. I just think it'll look cool, basically. Point between the rocks after the dirt's chipped out. I think my mom would like to have a crack at pointing down there, so I'll give her a little lesson in pointing, and hopefully she can start filling between the rocks, and that'll be a fun job, I think. Garden and land. Plant the seedlings in the garden. We've already started. I've got a whole bunch of pots everywhere. I want to put them in the garden beds. Same with the weeds. There's still more weeds to clear. Tidy the lemon terrace. The terrace with the splash pool and the lemon tree filled up with a whole bunch of crap, so I'd like to find a spot just to dump that stuff so it's not on that terrace, because that terrace is just such a nice place to hang out, and it's better if you don't have to hang out amongst a whole bunch of random pipes and old car tires and all kinds of crap. So I'd like to find a spot for that and clear it away. Make and cover beds. So I'll probably keep making garden beds, but I'm not going to use all of them, so I might end up just making some and covering them with a tarp so they don't get weedy. Maybe I'll use them in the winter, maybe I'll save it until next year. Cut the grass. This goes with set up the strimmer. I just got a strimmer in the mail. My friend Sinead provided the strimmer as part of our tool share. It's a double battery Makita strimmer. I asked in the comments whether people thought this was a good one or not, and most of the feedback was positive, and I'd love to get my dad to set that up. As with hanging tarps and things like that, I also don't like setting stuff up, so my dad seems willing, so he's gonna hopefully get that done, and once that's done, I'm gonna hit the bottom terraces and hopefully plow through all of that crazy grass down there. Cut the grass, set up the soaker hose. I've tested the soaker hose, but I actually have to just lay it out, pin it down, and get it ready, and give it a test. Drip irrigation. This is one that I can probably only do depending on my budget, but I'd love to buy the different kind of irrigation. So the soaker hose is one, drip irrigation is another one I'd like to test. So if I can get all the bits for that, I'd like to get that set up on at least one garden bed, but depends on funds. Edge raised beds. I have a bunch of these telegraph pole things, and I'd like to chop them in a certain way to be able to edge some of my raised garden beds so that the soil doesn't all fall out. I know a lot of people have said that because they're soaked in creosote, it's not really good to put them in garden beds, but I've done a bit of research online. Some people say it's fine, some people say it's not, and I'm just going to err on the side of it's fine. The part that's going to be facing the garden is going to be the middle of the pole rather than the exterior, so I think it's going to be okay. So I'd like to do that, and more seeds. You know, I wasn't going to plant more seeds, but I'm just gonna. I'd like to get some flowers, marigolds and nasturtiums, more sunflowers. more beets and some other things on the go in the seed tray. So that's a nice job for my mom to do if she wants. Build. I have loads of wood laying around from various projects. In here is mostly for the tool shed, but there's all kinds of wood laying around that's left over. I'd love to get my dad to make some shelves for either side of the polytunnel, for holding tools and things and just staying better organized, but also when planting season rolls around again, I think having some multi-level shelves would be a much better way of me organizing the pots rather than having them all over the ground and having to dance around them every time I come in here. A cat ramp. So I'd love to get Mikey trained to go in and out of the window in my shower. Mikey is quite impatient, and when he wants to get out, he wants to get out. I'm not sure I want to put a cat flap in the door, so if I can get him going in and out of this window, His Majesty can come and go as he pleases, at least in the summer. And I have an idea for sort of a flappy screen that hopefully keeps out the bugs, but that he can push through. And I'd love to get my dad to create a ramp that he can then get into the house from the outside. Wood stove seems like a crazy thing to want to talk about as the summer approaches, but I'd really like to clean my flue pipes and not leave it to the very, very last minute like I always seem to do. And it'll be good to do this while I have some extra people around to help me, because though it is possible by myself, it's heavy and awkward, and it's just better with an extra set of hands to help. Grind the baffle. The baffle is this thing inside the wood stove that, in my case, is welded on, and in everyone else's case seems to be removable. So my dad is a metal worker, and he can grind that out, and then we can find a way to reattach it so that it can be lifted in and out like every other stove I know. So hopefully he can get to that while he's here. That'll just mean that it'll be easier for me to clean it in the future. Buy, cut, and stack wood. This is another one that's finances dependent, but I would love to get an order of firewood, ideally enough to last me the whole winter next year. I'd love to get it soon, and I'd love to get it chopped to size with the chainsaw and stacked up and just covered, ready for me for next winter. If I order it now, then I can be sure that it's going to be drier than some of the stuff that you order. They say it's dry, as in seasoned, but it's not always. And so if I order it now and just season it out there in the sun, hopefully it'll be ready by the time winter rolls around, and it won't clog up my flue pipes, and I can just trust that it'll burn really well. But again, depends on the cash flow. Set up the strimmer. So I already talked about that one. Set up the sander. So the people that gave me this polytunnel, Vivor, they also gave me this sander thing. It's like a tabletop sander, and I still have it in the box because I'm going to use it to make my door window frame and finish that off, but I haven't got to the point of needing it yet. So I think my dad's going to set that up, and I'll give it a go, hopefully this month. Train Mikey. I talked about training a cat to go in a window. Could be very difficult, could be easy, who knows. Help Sinead. My very good friend Sinead, who bought land next to mine, is going to be here in the middle of May. She's bringing her whole Irish contingent with her, so I'm not sure if she's going to have more of a tourism sort of trip or more of a working trip, but if she needs a hand with anything, I'm going to help her out, whether it's going shopping or doing things on her land, as she kind of tries to navigate and figure out sort of the things that she needs to do here. She might need some help setting up some irrigation, and we'll see. But if she needs help from me, I'll be happy to give her a hand. And then, of course, my parents are here, Sinead is here, a whole bunch of her friends are here and her family, and my friend Sanchia, who is buying another piece of land nearby, is going to be here for a few days as well in May. So it's all happening, and I'm not going to just be concentrating on work all the time, even though I think that's what my parents want. I'm going to be, hopefully, taking them out to eat, going to see some things, going to markets, and just having a really good time. And then the question mark thing. Maybe my mom or dad have things that they want to add to this list, so just so I don't forget to mention them when the May update rolls around, I've got a little spot there to add those to the list. And so this is my May mega list. It's huge, it's scary, it's intimidating, but I think it's doable. And if it's not, it doesn't matter. So I'm excited to tackle this, and hopefully by the end of May, we've put a nice dent into this. But hopefully we've also had lots of fun. And so that's it. That's my April update, my May plans. I guess that's all I have to say. The bee seems to have taken off. The bee has buzzed off, and that's a wrap. Though we'll be doing loads of work, I don't know if I'll have as many videos out in May as I usually do, just because editing takes a lot of time and I'll want to spend that with my family and friends. So we'll see how things unfold, but I hope you enjoyed the update. I hope you're looking forward to this list being accomplished as much as I am. Lots of stuff coming, and I'm excited to share it with you. So thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions or comments or anything, or just want to say hello, leave me a message in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.